the UFL 2013 season is over. And it really amuses Alvin. But we're going to get right into it with the league roundup. Stallions are champions, their first title. They're the second team now to be promoted and win the league title. Guys, how do you think it really went? Give us your thoughts. Ronan. Let's give him some time to compose himself.
I think Ronan's a bit scared because you exploit. I think you're gonna exploit us. Somewhere anyway. Go.
Well, first it was a very tough race for the title. I think a few weeks ago it was a close match between Global and Stallion, but Global stumbled along the way and Stallion went away with went to win with 3 points ahead of Global. And then right now, so Global can only at least focus on the upcoming Singapore Cup, and Stallion still has to think about how they will still keep the same lineup or still stay strong and then for the next UFL League season.
No, we were just discussing this a while ago, right? Offline. I mean, there is a bit of adjustment to be done by Stallion. But anyway, I just wanted to reiterate on that part that they have to adjust a big deal to maintain that defense.
I've been talking to Coach Reed for several times already. He has already reiterated time and time again that the league is always a marathon. Fortunately for Global, they stumbled at the last block on the probably two most important games, and the win against Army last week was just soft padding to the result. But aside from Stallion winning, we saw a lot of improvements from some clubs. For example, Archers. First half of the season, they were really disappointing. They were flirting with relegation, and they finally hit their stride in the second half, even almost winning against Meralco.
Yeah.
And I think, aside from Stallion winning, also consider the mid-table race, because they also decided that even though they don't have the quality of players that the top teams had, they also find their way to battle it out against the best.
We're discussing about surprises. For me, I was telling you about this Nomads. It surprised me, that they were, I think, ranked third during the early part of the league. And then they went back to their original position.
Yeah, they won in the first 6 games. I think it was they won 3, drew 2, and lost 1. So really good form in the beginning, and then they dropped off at the end.
Yeah.
They didn't win any
consecutive losses and drew a lot.
Even lost to Army.
And that's what saved Army, really.
Yeah.
And then the Archers were the opposite way around. They started the first half of the season terribly, and then in the last 6 games they won 5 and drew 1. So it was an incredible turnaround for them.
The what if for me there is if Archers started that way, then with the way they finished,
they could be one of the top teams right now.
Exactly. So
moving aside from the top and the mid table, can be surprising that one of the former powerhouses in the league are now relegated in Air Force. They lost Chief Ikaligdong to Archers early in the season, in January. And now they had Yanti Versailles leaving and goalkeeper Tats Mercado also leaving.
Yeah.
It's a bit surprising that they even lost to Army at one point.
Yeah.
And their loss against PSG the last day of the season condemned them to the second division. While Army still have a glimmer of hope as they'll face Union for the playoff.
For me, it's not hindi siya a surprise, honestly.
I think the surprise was that they finished bottom of the table rather than 9th.
Yep.
I would have thought they would have finished above Army, to be honest. But there was one point in it.
Suddenly it was Army who went. You're discussing 1 point, just 1 point. But nevertheless, I've always seen Air Force as the strongest armed force inside. But maybe now, we can discuss about the joint armed forces team.
At least we hope to happen.
If it happens, if both of them gets relegated,
even Navy, they have 3 teams there.
So
maybe
they
one.
can provide
the strongest from all 3 teams.
All 3 super teams.
Well, coming from Aguilar, you've played against Union. Who would you say do you think stronger then, Army or Union? Looking ahead to that relegation playoff.
Well, Union is strong as a team if they're complete.
Okay.
but sometimes because currently their only reliable goalkeeper is Rels. That's anyway, but honestly, he's the most reliable goalkeeper for that team. And during the times that he hasn't attended, I mean, he wasn't there to play. There's been a bit of a mix-up, especially during the attack of the opponent. You know, medyo mahirap eh. The substitute goalkeeper is not able to emulate the same passion. I mean, Relly's how old? But nevertheless, still plays almost 2 years older than when he stopped from playing college football. I mean, nandun pa rin eh. Nandun pa rin yung vision niya, nandun pa rin yung skill niya. Pero yung nag-emulate, yung sub, he's not able to replicate that success. Okay. Yun yung kaganda, yun yung problema sa Union.
So, in one word, Army or Union?
I'd say Union.
Okay.
Kasi in terms of attack, Union's attack is very strong too.
And then going back to the opposite side of the table with Stallions and Global, Stallions have they got the most number of points of anyone ever in the history of the UFL. And so, looking at that, do you think, Ronan, it was a case of, with how tight the title race was, I mean, it was really just a loss to Kaya that derailed Global. Was it a case of Stallions winning the title or a case of Global slipping up to not defend it?
I think it's Global stumbling.
Yes,
Okay.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Really?
I would agree.
Global stumbling.
Because Stallion drew Loyola in their last game of the season. Had they won that game, could have been easily crowned champions, and celebrations already started from there on. But they had to rely on one game more just to decide the title.
Okay.
That's really
But either way,
surprising,
Stallion's run to the title was pretty good. They changed their playing style from their days when they got first promoted. They were really banging hard, too physical. And even Coach Ernie admitted that they really changed their style. And I think that's also one factor that got
Kasi
them
they
win the
have to
title.
change their style because they have two foreigners there. I mean, two prominent foreigners there who are not.
And plus
used to
the
that.
Koreans.
Diba? I mean, the Koreans during the earlier part, I think last season, if I'm not mistaken, they were pegging them as the dark horses, right? Even until now, their transition from that season until this season was really dramatic because now, you know, they've managed to really get the skill and the strength of Rufo up front. That's number one. I mean, last season was, you know, there was still some bit
Always
of
balot then
some bit of for Rufo and how the system works. At least now they had a year together and they were able to manage everything together with Waco also, and then they added a few more extra players there, and then they let go of those who are not really helping the team in terms of performance, and at the same time providing too many yellow cards and red cards. So that's a good thing. But I've always seen Stallion, you know, with that strength, you know, parang ano yan eh, parang no excuse, parang Miami Heat yan eh, no excuse for you to have that skill, that strength as a team, for you not to win. We've had teams na ganun, but apparently they haven't really. I think you know what you're talking about. That anyway, hindi lang nila makuha pa yung proper way to channel it, but hopefully by the number of years together, maybe they'll be the crown champions for next season. I don't know. Nevertheless.
So last question then, in a word, MVP for the season?
Rufo.
Rufo.
I think it would be more on Waco. Defender ako.
Okay.
Sorry, defender ako.
Abstain.
Daya mo.
Ikaw.
How are you?
Maybe Jeffrey Christians. I think he's been fantastic actually. Very underrated player.
Wait, akala ko naman kasi kailangan winning team eh.
Oh no, hindi ka MVP of the season. Out of
okay.
absolutely everyone.
I'll stick with
So
Rufo.
ikaw talaga.
Rufo.
I'll stick with
Talaga.
Rufo.
Sino yung coach ng Kaya?
David
Hindi pwede,
Perkovic.
no?
Yan.
Pwede sana eh.
Pwede.
Kasi
Manager-
manager of the year. Sige,
David
kasi
Perkovic,
yeah,
sure.
pagdating kasi, di ba? I mean, ang laki ng transition talaga yung Kaya. But MVP siguro. Ayos ko nga.
So tune in next time when Alvin's decided on who his MVP of the year is. Follow us at FTW Sports to find out more, and give a shout out on
Yeah.
Twitter for that one.
I'll tweet that.